Live from Johannesburg, you're watching ENCA. Thank you so much for joining us this Saturday afternoon. I'm Marcel Gordon. The battle between the DA and Patricia de Lille has been put on hold for now. The party's federal executive says it's decided to halt all discussions on the Cape Town mayor's future. De Lille is accused of corruption and maladministration. Federal Deputy Chair Natasha Mazzoni says the beleaguered mayor has gone to court, so the executive is seeking legal opinion before proceeding.
The Democratic Alliance with new legal papers. The deliberations were then suspended because the Democratic Alliance now needs to take legal advice. And early next week, we will resume as FedEx to continue the deliberations once we have our legal advice.
Now let's get more on the story. Now we're joined on the line by the Cape Town Mayor, Patricia de Lille herself. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Now you may have heard that clip and that story for, quoting Natasha Mazzoni there. They say they've postponed this meeting because you've served them with legal papers and that you're going to court again. And they need to get legal advice before moving forward. Can you confirm that that's the truth?
Well, I wish to make it very clear that I have not formally served any court papers on the party with regards to the recall clause. What my legal team did, just as a matter of courtesy, we sent the party's lawyers a copy of my draft papers, which we would only have formally issued and served had the recall clause being invoked this weekend. If they'd made a decision, we had to then go to court within 48 hours. So we sent them the draft papers to show them so that they could also be ready to respond in a short space of time. And any application made to the court would thus have to be done on an urgent basis. And we wanted the party to be in a position to prepare a response if necessary. Now that they have not made a decision, I can't go to court. I have to wait for them to make that decision. But we did inform them that we intend to challenge this in court. In fact, I'm very concerned about this continuous remarks by Ms. Mazzoni. I have consistently demanded that all of these allegations against me be tested in an open, transparent, and fair process that is consistent with the values of the party. And the party had consistently denied me that these allegations be tested in public and the media be allowed. They deny that. So they continue to say these allegations, but they don't give me an opportunity to test the allegations.
So there's a bit of confusion there now, because in my interview with Natasha Mazzoni, she said very definitely you served them with papers, and that's why they haven't continued the deliberations and made that decision. But you're now saying that you cannot go to court until they've made that decision.
Yes.
It's very confusing.
No, we've only given them copies of our papers that we intend to serve once they have made a decision. And that is out a matter of courtesy between the lawyers. Because if they decide that they will give me 48 hours in which to resign, then in the space of 48 hours, we then have to go to court on an urgent basis. And as a courtesy to them to prepare themselves for the court case, we have sent them the draft papers. So we have not served papers on the DA. We've given copies of what we intend serving on them once they have made a decision.
So what do you think is happening here now? Is the party trying to buy extra time in terms of the information that you have? What do you believe is going down now?
Well, I've never been found guilty of any of these allegations, and I expect a senior leader like Mazzoni to know this. These allegations against me, it's unspecified, it's untested, it is not linked to any code of conduct that I've broken. And so I think they're really clutching on straws now by behaving as if these allegations are still so serious. And while I ask for it to be tested, well, I will wait until they meet early next week. And if they make a decision that I need to resign, at that stage, I will then go to court.
Now, back to this recall clause. Many are saying that the recall clause is actually the Patricia de Lille clause, and it is set up in a way that would mean that they would finally have the power, or the FedEx would finally have the power to be able to move you out of your position. Now, there was a new motion of no confidence. It's being said in the media that 70% of the DA Cape Town caucus supports this motion of no confidence, but the recall clause will be key in being able to push it forward. Now, this comes weeks after you defeated a similar motion of no confidence, just by one vote, but you defeated it nonetheless. Do you believe that the DA has regrouped and that this time around they will have the support that they need for this motion to go through?
But I certainly regard the low recall clause recently adopted by the Federal Congress as a real draconian clause and unconstitutional. And I'm prepared to test that in the High Court if necessary. And so if the DA proceed with this draconian unconstitutional court, I will challenge it in court, because I put my faith in the courts, the independence of our judiciary, and that I know that I will only get justice from our courts.
Now, Mayor de Lille, if I could just ask you a very straightforward question, yes, because this is what a lot of people are asking. Do you still want to be involved in the Democratic Alliance? Because there are forces within the party that have made it very clear that they do not want you there. Do you want to still be in the party or not?
There are individuals in the DA that are hell-bent on trying to get me out of the party. And they want to get me out of the party violating the party's constitution, because the Constitution makes provision for a fair and due process to test these allegations. They want to get a shortcut by going the motion of no confidence route. And that is being a problem all of this time, that I must be able to test those allegations. That's my right. That's my constitutional right. They can't find me guilty. They can't be the judge and jury and everything. So I need to clear my name, because they've tainted my reputation. They have accused me of corruption. And I heard you saying that they're now not saying corruption anymore, because I've asked them for the proof of the corruption. And so they stopped saying that I've been accused of corruption. And that is what we need to go back, both the DA and myself. And we need to sit in a room with a disciplinary hearing that's open to the public, that's open to the media, so that the public and South Africa can hear my response. And that's how we will finally resolve this issue.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question that I asked Natasha Mazzoni as well. This saga has been ongoing, and nothing happens at the moment in the political realm without it being looked at with the backdrop of the elections coming up next year. And I asked her whether the Democratic Alliance would admit that this saga has done damage to its brand or its image, depending on what you prefer to call it, as we head closer to the elections. Do you believe that this saga has done damage to the party, A? Do you believe it's done damage to your personal brand? And C, do you believe that this is still where you find your political home as we head towards the next elections?
Let me tell you that certainly my reputation has been damaged, because I have built up a track record in this country as a person that has fought against corruption all my life. And to now being accused that I'm trying to cover up corruption is just not on. So yes, as much as the party's reputation or brand is being damaged, my reputation too. And I can't even look into the future and design my future until I clear my name, until I am able to take away this dark cloud hanging over me. And it can only be done in an open, transparent, and a fair process that is consistent with the values of our Constitution.
So just to confirm, you are confirming that you cannot think about your political or personal future until this particular story has been sorted out.
That's exactly my point, that I need to clear my name. I'm a resolute just as much as the individuals in the DA trying to get rid of me, I'm also hell-bent on fighting to clear my name, because my name is being smeared in public and it needs to be cleared in public too.
We'll leave it there for now. Cape Town Mayor
Thank
Patricia
you.
de Lille, we thank you for your time this afternoon.